66 and 2/3 chance.
Yeah. We got a 66 and 2/3. Dude, but see, you take that 66 and 2/3% chance, and then you add my 75% chance to that, because the internet knows they can't beat me.
In my head, I'm just now remembering, oh yeah, you didn't actually see it. It was just me playing it back for you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of math to try to keep up with.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna just, before we start the show here, I'm gonna just give you all the disclaimer that I have been up since 4 o'clock this morning, walking the picket line until 6 p.m. So, excuse me for being a little bit off today.
Oh, he's so sleepy. Oh
Like, I fell asleep during Dynamite.
And he missed the MJF promo.
Like, passed the fuck out. Didn't wake up until I heard Swerve's music play.
So that being said, I promised you, and I mean it, we will try to make this a little bit more of an efficient show tonight, and not as long. Video editing should be easier. Getting out at decent times easier than, of course, not asking somebody like Mark to stay with us for as long. That's great. Hold on.
Started with that.
There we go.
That's a good way to start it. Top rope token it.
Gotta live up to the name, man. Live up to the name. That being said, it is Wednesday night. You know what that means. We are here, Top Rope Tokes, to talk with you about wrestling, AEW Dynamite. I'm just saying, that guy over there
is Range of Motions.
He's a big sleepy baby tonight.
Yeah. Striking is tiring.
But like every week, we are here to talk with you about AEW Dynamite. And quick recap for you. Tonight's show, we kicked off with Mox versus Big Bill, which was a surprisingly fun match, considering neither of them, those are insanely fun. We end up having a video a little bit later on the night where Marvez and the BCC challenge Claudio. Danielson challenges to team with Claudio versus Big Bill and Starks for Collision. Then there's a little bit of face-off between Phoenix and Mox and Kingston and Claudio. We had a Renee segment with Roddy in which it's Adam Cole interrupts him right away, and Adam seems happy, but Kingdom not as happy. He's begging Roddy not to go through with this, but he's gonna go. He's gonna break Max's back, and he's gonna win the belt. We had Tony Schiavone introducing Don Callis and Takeshita, which obviously doesn't really ever get to really ask too many questions. There's always an interruption or somebody takes over right away.
Yes.
He says, we beat Kenny twice in 1 week, and when you're better than all the other aces and you beat Kenny Omega twice, you're not just an ace, you're the alpha. So that is Takeshita's new nickname. But they're not done. They want to take everything. They want to take more from Kenny, and they want to go after his heart. And their next target, and they unveiled the painting, is Kota Ibushi.
Yep.
Yeah, actually.
What he has Takeshita with a sword to Ibushi's neck.
And then Callis ends up stabbing the painting with a screwdriver. But biggest thing about this whole thing is Kenny being called a pathetic cuck during this promo. Renee had a little interview with Hook, which we never really usually get to see Hook talk. He talked a little bit tonight, and in this instance, it was really about more so the storytelling of Orange Cassidy comes in. He's like, "What you gotta be mad about? You're here, you can wrestle, you're a champion. I was a champion." Orange Cassidy is heartbroken.
Yeah. Poor man.
We had the women's four-way match to determine who would face Saraya at Grand Slam between Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, and Toni Storm, in which Toni Storm is able to sneakily get the win by rolling up Britt. After we see Renee with Saraya and Ruby, and at first they seem like they're congratulating Toni. Says, "Oh, you did it without us, all on your own." But Toni's lost everything to Saraya. Her friends, her title, her mind, and she's going to lose at Grand Slam as well. We had Lace X Gods in the ring. Two friends trying to promote a match that's coming up. I will say they did not do this nearly as well as Adam Cole and MJF did as best friends.
Mm-hmm. Yep. See that's where I was. That's where I fell asleep. Because I'm like, okay, I remember everything. Oh, no, yep. Now I don't remember things. Yep. That's where I fell asleep. I think that I knew internally that I wasn't going to care about that segment.
It was the friendly, but the stare down and all that, the usual stuff. At one point, Sammy does say that he's gonna win because he has to get out from behind under Jericho's shadow. And then they're gonna shake hands, they'll hug, and then they'll win the tag titles, and then there's another actual stare down. They came out to the ring together. They did not leave together. Then we got the MJF video from, it was supposed to be from after last week, where he's in the trader room after he injured his neck. Talked about if Roddy wins, he'll break him. He isn't afraid of Joe. Says he's going to choke Joe out. And then he does the greatest thing ever and does the Sign of Wrath promo because he's talking to Samoa Joe.
That is perfect.
Then we had one end up waking up Mr. Range Emotions over here because we had Hangman Adam Page versus Brian Cage. Page, too many things. Hangman's about to go for the buckshot lariat, and that's when Swerve's music hits and causes a distraction.
Yeah. Oh, dude. They need to have Brian Cage versus Christian Cage versus Hangman Adam Page
versus Ethan Page inside of a steel cage.
Ethan Page. Oh no, it'll be a tag match. Page and Page versus Cage and Cage in a cage.
You have not seen the memes for that yet.
No.
Oh, maybe that meme started before you really got into it, or you got played out, because it's been
Page and Page versus Cage and Cage. I like it. Book it.
That's when you got woke up. Brian Cage hit a German suplex from inside the ring with Adam Page on the outside of the ring to the inside of the ring, and it was goddamn
nasty.
Hangman's actually able to pick up the win with the dead eye, gets on the mic, starts to talk to Swerve saying, "Hey, you wanted to fight, but you end up sending him down here? I thought you had balls," but apparently they're inside of Prince Nana's hat, crown.
Yeah, they're inside of his Burger King crown.
Swerve says he gets to pick when and where he ends up setting up for in his home of Seattle for Wrestle Dream. So we have two matches for that card, and both of them are ones I'm excited for. But he says Hangman can't get comfortable. He's not going to let him be comfortable. And that's when Brian Cage and all that attacks from behind before the Young Bucks slide into the ring, do a double super kick to Cage, and then they wait forever behind Prince Nana as he dances.
He's going for so long.
And they're just behind him. Awkward. And then just being able to have them in frame behind him reacting, it was awesome. I had no idea how long it was going to go, but it was one of those things that just gets funnier and funnier the longer and longer it went.
You got him, let him go, because Prince Nana was cooking, man.
Renee, for her 17th segment of the night, was with Daniel Garcia, in which she asked him about Sammy and Jericho wrestling next week, JAS stuff, and he says, why isn't it about him? He's gone viral more than anyone else in the last month from the company, and blah, blah, blah. Why isn't it about him? Don Callis comes in to agree. Garcia puts his finger to his lips, let's shush him, and then does this dance.
Yeah. I want a Daniel Garcia versus Prince Nana dance off. No.
Don Callis, as opposed to being offended, just calls it money and he still chases after Garcia.
I love that. He's like,
It gives it hope.
yeah. I'm like, this dude just humped at you.
Because in my mind, I'm like, what if Sammy turns heel by having the rest of JAS help him defeat Jericho? Like, trying to think of other ways to, spin that off into something for everybody. But I'm like, you know what? Garcia can go with Don Callis. That's cool.
Yeah. Let him do that. I mean, I think Garcia needs to go face, but.
Yeah. But he could be the one that breaks out of that group as a face. Maybe he's not there forever. Who knows? But yeah, as long as we get interesting stories for more than just Jericho and Sammy coming out of that.
Please. Garcia's too good.
Next up, we had Darby and Nick Wayne versus 2.0 / Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Edge. Speaking of more for the rest of that group, you pointed it out during the match. Fans are still cheering for the second most over daddy on this roster.
Yeah, Daddy Magic gets them cheers.
As soon as the match goes to start, Christian does his entrance because Nick Wayne's in the ring. And, he's just talking the whole time. But Darby and Nick Wayne, I think this is where the show might have ran a little bit short because they had the most awkward ending of the match. Where they literally were just staring at each other, looking confused at one point. Before Darby was able to get a coffin drop on Cool Hand for the win. Christian on the mic, he says he's tired of it, gets on the mic, says he wants the Sting Darby tag team match. Because it wasn't him that lost at All In, and he wants his tag team partner. So Sting and Darby versus Luchasaurus and Christian Cage. Does Nick Wayne turn at that spot?
It's highly likely. I'm gonna say that.
It's weird because at first I wanted him to turn and kind of run off with Swerve, and now it's like a Christian story, and I don't know.
We'll see. It depends on what AR Fox does.
Oh, speaking of, another way that we knew that match was awkward was because the weird Darby about to do a suicide dive through the ropes where he steps through the ropes and then jumps off.
Yeah.
What?
That was weird.
And for the main event, we had Samoa Joe versus Roderick Strong. Winner faces MJF for the title at Grand Slam. Good job at telling the story, trying to make it where both these guys have a story purpose of winning this match. But it was going to be Joe. It was always going to be Joe. And he chokes out Roddy for the win.
Joe.
And we notice that this match ended with a lot of time after. And you're like, okay, stuff has to happen. Stuff has to fill this out. Joe gets on the mic. He says he's going to take everything you have, kid. So throwing that back out there again. After Joe leaves is when Adam Cole comes out. Continuing the fact that Adam Cole wants nothing to do with Samoa Joe.
I mean, he shouldn't want anything to do with Samoa Joe.
Joe is going to kill you.
Joe is going to kill you. He tried to kill Roddy tonight.
Speaking of Roddy, as Adam Cole's coming down to check on Roddy, who's up in the ring, they're trying to put the neck brace and everything back on. He turns, catches Adam Cole out of the corner of his eye, falls to the mat, acting injured all over again, to the point they bring a stretcher out. The Kingdom are yelling at him. They're trying to play it off like he just like twisted his neck and turned and like did the whole shot of like a jolt of pain. That took him down. Like he didn't do this for Adam Cole. He's not faking this bullshit.
Well, yeah, no, he didn't. Come on.
The end of the show was Roderick Strong yelling Adam about 100 times while the Kingdom is telling Adam to get the fuck away.
Please change that to his entrance theme. Like just a recording of him screaming Adam would be just so good. Adam.
And finally, when they part ways, as the stretcher and everything's going off to the side of the ramp and Adam Cole's looking down from the top of the stage, Joe comes out, chokes out Adam Cole, and says he's going to, and just to go with the point of, he's going to take everything from MJF.
Love it.
Now,
Love it.
that being said, what was your favorite part of tonight? You're good for tonight.
Dude, I liked a whole lot of things on this show today. I like the Prince. So I'm gonna give you the thing here. I love that Prince Nana got to dance for way too long. I love Roddy screaming at him all the time.
I hope Prince
Daniel
Nana's
Garcia
dance
putting
becomes
his
a TikTok
finger-
challenge.
Yeah, like putting Prince, or not Prince, but Daniel Garcia's finger on Don Callis's nose, and then the and then humping at him. It's great. But top of my chart, I love Toni Storm's new gimmick. Like the showboating, the things that she's done has completely changed. Like her character has personality finally, and now I see why people like her.
I want fans to start handing her shoes so she has shoes to throw away in the middle of the match.
Yeah, people have to start bringing a spare shoe.
Listen, there is no doubt 100% what my good of the night is, because without going into 100 and percentages all over again, it's the fact that MJF did the Signer Math promo to Samoa Joe for Grand Slam. I was crying, laughing while this man was sleeping.
Yeah, and Joe definitely sacrificed his buddy.
Top of the ramp. No.
Yeah.
Do you know what your bad is for tonight?
Yes, I do have a bad, and it's not even like real big. Yeah, that Darby and Nick ending was like a little awkward. Like they had a good spot in mind, but it just didn't work out somehow, somewhere in there. Yeah, and that was, I didn't like that.
Yeah, because I'm struggling. I don't really have an ugly for tonight either, so I'm trying to think of what to make the bad versus the ugly. Speaking of bad spots, it really was for me during the women's match, and you might have missed it for reasons. Right at the end, before Tony won, Britt hit the worst stomp ever. Like, it went to the back. It didn't look good at all before she got rolled up for Toni Storm's victory.
Yeah, I like Britt, but I feel like she's hit or miss.
Now,
lately it's been a lot of miss.
You said you had a lot of things you liked about tonight's show. Did you have an ugly for tonight's show? Because I really don't.
Man. Nothing, there wasn't. I really couldn't come up with an ugly for tonight.
So
we're gonna say that this show was just not ugly.
That being said, you talked about how there are so many different things you like. I feel like it'd be remiss to ignore this. Orange Cassidy's subtle storytelling since he lost that international championship has been golden. People wanted to hate on this character so much, like try to limit it and everything, and it has been somehow slowly developed to be one of the most pure, entertaining, best thing going.
Yeah, like we hear it all the time. Like even one of our friends that we go to all of our shows with says Orange Cassidy could never be a world champion, and I'm like, I think you're wrong. He's got it. Now, I wouldn't say give him a long reign as a champion, but I could definitely see him as a world champion.
It's definitely a situation where somebody who has like a chip or something like MJF had, you make him the champion. He's a champion very, very short time. If it was WWE, you would have the heel use Money in the Bank to get massive heat by trying to destroy that championship reign like immediately. You could do it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but yeah, and his character has developed so much. Like he's probably got the best character development in AEW. Because when I first started watching, I was like, "This is fun," but it's not going anywhere.
It's a very different type of character development, but like, yeah, just the development. The only one I can think of that would rival him is how much we've seen MJF as a character change, and it's
Yeah,
in a believable, slow way.
yeah. True. And say, but yeah, though, if we're talking about you in the same breath as MJF, then you're doing something right.
I mean, those are the only two examples of great character development that we can put on that level. Yeah. I mean, it's the way that people talked about, like, the bloodline carrying WWE for so long as a great story. There's very few things in wrestling that have been that, like, top level.
Yeah, yeah. This is Orange Cassidy is doing something great. Something more than great.
So we got a video out of that. I'm just trying to think of how we could do it. Is there anything, any specific part that you would like to talk about more in depth to make a specific video on?
Shit. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's enough of the BCC stuff to talk about.
I was thinking
We didn't really talk about them.
I was thinking more in the sense of either as opposed to like a recap, but more like projecting and thinking about it moving to the future. More conversational.
Okay. Yeah. Shit, man.
So I got one for you.
I mean, I do have one thing that I did want to say.
What's that?
I really hope Joe gets a world title reign. I know he's not winning against MJF, but Samoa Joe is so incredible, and it's funny to me that people said he was washed up, and like watching him in AEW, that guy is nowhere near washed up.
I think for him it was a lot because there was a time period at his age in which he was getting injured a lot, where he was just consistently injured and he was doing more backstage stuff. But what would you count as a world title win for him? Is Ring of Honor world title too low?
No, yeah. AEW world title. I don't want Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor world title is basically like, that's like below the TNT belt.
I want to see him do it. Considering his age and who we have going now, where it's a long thing, I don't know where that window's gonna be. I hope maybe Adam Cole's gonna eventually be champion, right? Probably right. In the next two people, right?
Yeah, and so yeah, if he's not next, then he's the person after the next person. So but definitely.
So if it's not Joe, because it doesn't have to be Joe now, it could still be Joe months from now.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Adam Cole that takes it from MJF, Joe, especially with Joe this going on right now, it'll be
I can see that.
I want to see Joe get one too. It feels like there's a couple of people that all kind of fit in that same boat. Like him and Danielson are the same way. Should Danielson have it? Could he have a championship reign? Is he that damn good? Yes. Will he? I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I kind of don't think. I think after he dropped that bomb of basically he's wrapping it up in the next year. Um, I think what he's gonna do is he's just gonna try and get every dream match that he can out of the way. That's why he was like, "All right, let me get these dream matches out of the way." Zack Sabre Jr. Come on, buddy.
And if there's anyone that deserves like two matches, like how we know with Okada, there has to be another one. If
Right.
there's anyone like that where there's got to be two, say Osprey as an example.
Yeah.
He can win the belt from Osprey, have a major championship, just to turn around and lose it to Osprey again, like 3, 4, or 6 months later, whenever they face off again.
Yeah, definitely, bruv.
But but outside that, he doesn't need a championship. He's also been WWE like champion, top of the thing.
Yeah.
Yo, I
Yeah.
want that for
Joe
Joe.
didn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Joe looks like a champion. He looks like a champion. He's an incredible talker. His matches are never even like his matches are usually good, not even okay. Like usually because I have yet to watch a Samoa Joe match in AEW that I'm like, yeah, that was okay. Usually I'm like, that was good.
Right? Um, with him, it feels like it'll be a crime if he doesn't have to have a major championship. But he fits the role of monster heel champion so well.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
use him to build somebody else over even if you need to. So if he takes it from Cole and goes to Joe, maybe by that time we're turning back around to Ricky being a face again or something like that, you know? Like he can try to elevate somebody.
Oh, that's another person. How long do you think it is before Ricky Starks is in there? I feel like it was it was going to be a while because I'm almost convinced that CM Punk was going to be the next champion.
So here's the question I would ask you about Ricky Starks. Do you think his first championship run should be as a heel or a babyface?
I honestly like him more as a heel, or at the very least, if he doesn't just go straight babyface, like do the tweener thing, because I like when he's an asshole. It's more fun.
I mean, he could be an asshole just like how The Rock was an asshole to babyface.
Yeah, but yeah, when Ricky went full babyface, he was not an asshole anymore. And that was part of what I liked about his characters, that he's this cocky asshole.
So it's tough and it really boils down to probably that because if he's going to win as a face, you got a feeling that there needs to be a monster heel champion in front of him. Versus if he does as a heel, he can do sneaky, cheating, whatever kind of thing you get at any given time.
Yeah, I think but yeah, I like him as a heel, but I could definitely see his rise coming as a face though.
He end of 2024, start of 2025.
Okay.
Because we just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
narrowed down to
that is
who makes sense as the next like couple champions.
yep. Because MJF's gonna hold it through this whole. Even though I'm convinced that he's signed an extension forever ago, like that he's gonna hold the title through this whole bidding war of 2024 story, and then somebody's gonna beat him like right after that,
Or
or
like
during that story,
the last show of 2023.
something like that. Like, so yeah, he's got to hold the belt until the end of the year for sure.
What if the last like Dynamite of 2023, PK comes out and is like, can't have you be a free agent and be my champion, so gauntlet match.
Ooh.
And you can build MJF because he can get through a number of people and you can really tell that story before somebody finally hits him. And depending on how you line up the opponents, knowing that one of them could take it, like if you're sitting there, hey, and it's like, here comes Danielson, and you're like, shit, he could win. But then MJF somehow wins, and you're losing your fucking mind, and then out walks Ricky Starks, and you're like, he could do it. Like, you as long as all of them are credible, it could be one hell of a story part.
Yep. Yeah. And then
Joe comes
the
out.
other thing is I gotta know when it's time for Swerve. You gotta put a belt on that man. Like at this point, I don't really care which one, but you gotta put a belt on that man.
All right, so Mox operated as a babyface tonight, partially, because he was in Cincinnati and he bled. If there's ever an alignment where it works out, because at this point we both kind of agree, like, fuck the TNT title.
Yeah.
If he could be the one to take it from the international from Mox, that'd be a hell of a thing for him still.
Oh yeah. That would be huge. Because, I mean, the international title is, like we said, the international title, it's proven now that that is the secondary title, and the TNT is the third.
Well, we just sat here talk about all these names that we need to see get into that picture for the world title. So it's like, all right, how do you really fit Swerve in that mix without screwing out some, moving somebody else back? It's like, all right, somebody has to win something else. So unless he's the dick who takes the Ring of Honor title from like Eddie Kingston after Grand Slam or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, Ring of Honor title.
Yeah. Swerve is a TV character. I don't think you give him the Ring of Honor title. But I mean, the same thing could be said about Eddie, because you want to see him on TV. He just Eddie just struggles to not drop F-bombs all the time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of Eddie, you think he's beating Claudio?
I think it would make sense as a payoff to this story.
I think so too. That's what I was thinking.
Much better than Claudio winning.
They've been going with that story for too long, and the way Eddie's character works is if he loses, he's probably still going to be like, nah, I'm still coming for your ass.
And then there's this aspect of it too. I feel like Mox is in a position where he can be more babyface at any given moment. Danielson clearly already is. If Kingston wins that belt, you can then just go all in on Yuta and like Claudio as a tag team.
Yeah. Have Yuta and Claudio but that means I feel like you'd have to split the BCC, because I would want to keep Claudio and Yuta as heels.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the BCC,
I feel like they can be loosely connected. Like where they're still friends that maybe they come out and help each other, but they don't need to be like a pack of wolves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the guy that came up with the name isn't even in AEW anymore, so like there's the Blackpool Combat Club.
And all of you, well,
and none of you have any association with Blackpool.
The closest is you do have a guy who's from Europe. That's the closest thing you have.
There is one European, but not from that country.
I mean, come on, Switzerland, Blackpool. They're only about as far away as like what, Austin, Texas?
Probably. I don't know European geography.
I also don't know how.
I don't know our geography.
I don't know how they compare size wise. I just know Texas is like the third largest state physically.
Is it?
Alaska
is bigger.
I would guess maybe California.
I thought landmass Texas is number 2.
By the way, 2,
Texas
3.
is the biggest on the continental U.S.
It might be, but either way, I knew it wasn't lower than 3.
Yeah, yeah. Largest states by area: Alaska, then Texas. Yeah, California is much smaller than Texas.
Really?
Yeah. Alaska is more than double the size of Texas. Texas is over 100,000 square miles bigger than California.
Yeah, I don't know how that compares.
Yeah, Alaska is 586,000 square miles. Texas is 261. And then California is number 3 at 155.
I'm surprised
So,
it's that much of a difference.
Big drop-offs, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just knew, like, picturing it in my mind. I was like, all right, I know Alaska's 1.
Yeah.
And, like, looking at it, I'm like, all right, Texas is wider, but California looks longer. So I was like, I don't fucking know.
That's what she said. Yeah, California is, it's long and skinny.
I mean, California ain't skinny, though.
Well, I mean, for the size that it is, it's long and skinny. Texas got that girth.
Because, wait, do you still have that list up?
Uh-huh.
What's California and what's Michigan?
So I gotta scroll down.
I think California was like
Michigan.
150, you said, or something?
Yeah, 155, 959. Michigan is 56,538.
All right.
Michigan's not as big as I thought it was.
Honestly, I thought we would be able to fit like 4 Michigans inside of California. It's only 3.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, South Dakota and North Dakota are big ass states where nobody lives. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
And Idaho. That's a big ass state for no reason too. Basically the upper Northwest is all gigantic land areas with no people.
I'm guessing Montana's probably up there too.
Yep. Montana is number 4. Only slightly smaller than California.
Well, we're having a special education class going on right now. Range emotions, why don't you tell us random animal facts?
Oh, man. Dude. So, I don't know if anybody else has watched Chimp Empire on Netflix. That show is so good. But anyways, let's see. One fact that a lot of people know is chimps share 98% of the same DNA as humans. So we're 2% away from being chimps. But since they know they can't beat us, we got to add their 2% to our 98%. And then that means that we are 100% chimps.
No. So, 2 things about that. I gotta sneeze first. One, like, people like scoff at the idea that somehow we could be like related, and yet you have physical characteristics that we are similar with them, like no other animals share that high percentage of DNA, blah blah blah. So it's kind of crazy. But at the same time, you said 98%?
Yep, 98%.
Yeah, but don't we also share like 96% with like pigs?
I believe you actually are close to correct on that.
So it's crazy, like 98% seems so like crazy, but then you can look at a completely different animal and still not be that far off.
Yeah. That can't be right.
It says 98. Is that what you just saw?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that can't be right. That can't be right.
It says chimps are 99.
Oh, maybe I did. Look, I was high when I was watching the Chimp Empire. Okay, yeah, 98.8% shared between humans and chimps.
Because most organic matter on this planet being made out of carbon, you know that like any animal on this planet is probably going to be in like 80s to 90s%, and just obviously the ones that are more like us, mammals, etc., you're just going to get closer and closer to 100.
I mean, well, there's some goofy shit. Like, I know that we share like half of the same DNA as like bananas. So like 50% of us is the same as bananas.
Because isn't like carbon like 99% of all organic life forms?
Yeah. We are all carbon-based life forms.
Just out of curiosity, trying to talk and type something entirely different at the same time is not easy.
No, you can't. That's why I stop talking every single time I try to look something up. I just can't do it.
I was looking up to see human and octopus DNA. I'm trying to go
another thing.
Completely different.
If there's any Caucasian folk out there, I'm speaking to you right now, because I know y'all like to go do stuff that you shouldn't do. I'm gonna need y'all to get me more footage of what's at the bottom of the ocean, because that's what I'm most fascinated with right now, is finding out what is at the bottom of the ocean.
You
and
can
why
go
are
yourself.
People afraid to find out? Nah.
How are you gonna ask why are people afraid to find out and then act like you're afraid to find out?
Because I'm afraid to find out myself, but I want to know.
Right. Considering we just saw people, like rich ass people, go down and die, I think the average person's like, no, thank you.
Somebody's got to be like, I'm gonna go find that wreckage. Somebody's gonna want to do it. Go get me some footage of those sea creatures down there. I want a colossal squid on video.
Honestly, you would think where we are in technology and everything that probably within the next 50 years they have to be able to do that.
Yeah, like get me, before I die, get me footage of the colossal squid.
Listen,
because I want to know what they look like.
Before we die, we should be able to see two things happen. See the bottom of the ocean and see an actual moon landing. We weren't alive for the last one.
Yeah. And we should see the Lions win a Super Bowl. But why? I don't know why that feels more unlikely.
Because
I'm like,
two of those are just a matter of science progression, while the other one is sports, luck, having smart people in the right positions, biting the right kneecaps throughout the season. That's why Chris Jones didn't want to come play, because he was going to get his kneecaps bitten. He's like, man, this 1 year deal, I'm not losing my kneecap.
I wouldn't have showed up if I was going to get my kneecaps bitten like that. Yeah. But yeah, those are things that I definitely got to see at some point. Like, please, please, please. Get me footage of that colossal squid. Like, we know they exist. We know they exist, but nobody's got footage of them yet.
Range Motion wants to see Cthulhu.
I didn't say all that. I didn't say, because if we find Cthulhu, that's pretty much the end of the world. Because I don't think we have anyone that's able to take out Cthulhu here. Like, we're gonna need superheroes, real superheroes, to take out Cthulhu.
Nah, man. See, we're gonna do what everybody says we're gonna do when aliens decide to interact with us. We're gonna send in Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. So are we saying that the aliens are black guys?
Wait, how'd that get involved?
Oh, because I don't know. Brock Lesnar just murders all the black guys.
Oh,
Because he's like, oh, hey, black guy, you're doing real well right now. It'd be a shame if somebody Brock Lesnar'd you.
hey man, just because Kofi had to lose his championship in under 10 seconds.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about.
But he's fought sharks. No, like Pat McAfee and other people, they'll be like, he is like the apex human. Like, you were that big and that agile. Like, you were built as like a fighting machine. Like, you go fight the aliens.
Shoot. I'm gonna say somebody's gonna roll him up and get that what was it? A knee bar, I think. I think that was how he lost the UFC title.
I thought he got
with a knee bar.
I thought Cain Velasquez knocked him out.
Oh yeah. So yeah,
I remember who he fought and lost to.
Yeah,
I just
that
don't
knee
remember
bar.
it.
The knee bar loss was before that.
Oh, was that the Frank Mir first match?
Yeah, that was his first match with Frank Mir. Yeah, but yeah, Cain Velasquez was the one that knocked him out.
Hey man, it was still a solid first UFC match. It could have been worse. It could have been CM Punk's.
Yeah. He definitely does not have a career in MMA to fall back on, that's for sure.
You wanna know what's kind of amazing? When Brock Lesnar left and he went to go play football, it's kind of actually surprising he didn't make the team.
Yeah, just the publicity, you would think that he would have made the team, but he must have been not good at all.
Which is just to play the position that he was playing, because I think he was like a guard. Like,
I thought he was playing D-line or something for some reason.
because I think his number was actually 69, so everything in my headlines up. But
Okay.
But at the same time, preseason numbers don't mean shit, you know.
Preseason.
Nopa says B gap interior defensive lineman. Oh, he saw action as that.
Okay. Yeah, because I remembered him being a defensive lineman.
Brock Lesnar is the only person to be included in an NFL Madden game, a UFC game, and a WWE game.
Damn. All right. Go Brock.
See, defensive tackle not being able to make it, that makes a lot more sense. Mm-hmm. As a guard, I'm like, how... I just don't see how Brock Lesnar could fail as a guard. Unless it's a mental thing, you know?
See, and then Brock Lesnar is a freak athlete, but every NFL player is a freak athlete too. So it's like once he gets there, he's got to actually have technique.
Because most players make it in some kind of mold, like a power mold or a more finesse mold, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is Brock Lesnar is probably going to be comparable on the strength with like a power guard. Maybe not to be like a top end, right? Not.
I'm gonna say, yeah, definitely not near the top end at all, because I'm sure he's very strong, but NFL linemen are inhuman.
I don't think he would be a deficit for strength at guard, where it'd be a liability. But he's gonna
He'd
have
probably be better off fitting into the finesse role than the power role.
right, he's gonna have more finesse. Like he's gonna be his agility is gonna be top 1% for a guard in the NFL. At his size, it's gonna be hard to be more agile than him. But he's gonna be probably just as strong as the strongest like finesse lineman in the NFL. Or close to it.
Maybe so. I still think you're underestimating how strong NFL linemen are.
Oh no. I just think I'm maybe giving too much credit to how strong Brock Lesnar is.
Yeah, maybe so. Because, yeah, NFL linemen. Ridiculous.
Because
Ridiculous strength.
because what you would say like an average guard could lift, it would not surprise me if Brock Lesnar could lift that all the same.
Yeah.
Because I think what like a peak guard, you might have those freak ones that can bench like 5. But those are like the 1%, right?
Probably more than, I'm going to say probably, there's probably quite a bit more than you think.
Because
I'm just thinking these dudes, like half of them dudes are repping out 225 30 times.
which would not
At
surprise me if
combines.
Brock could do.
That would surprise me if he could do it. I would say he'd probably maybe get 20. Like I don't think he's as strong as he looks.
Wait, you said 225?
Yeah.
DK Metcalf can do that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's stronger than DK.
No. I said them NFL players are freaks, man. Like Brock is a freak compared to like
Wait, how many
other
times did you
athletes
say that they...
MMA fighters and stuff, but
Hold on, how many times did you say they do 225 reps?
like 30 times.
Brock Lesnar did a combine. He did 225 for 30 times.
Oh, nice.
Stands 6'3" at 283. His 40-yard dash was a 4.7. He had a 35-inch vertical. He could jump 10 feet in the standing long jump. He could bench 225 for 30 reps.
Okay.
And since then, he's just become less of a like a gym freak and more of a country strong type of person.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm not thinking of young Brock Lesnar. I'm thinking of the last 10 years Brock Lesnar that doesn't look that strong. Like he definitely looks like he could whoop some ass. He looks like he's way stronger than anybody else out there, but he don't look like NFL strong no more.
Remember,
But he's also in his 40s now, right?
yeah, remember at the time, he could easily lift up somebody like the Big Show and toss him over his shoulder. It was not a struggle or a problem.
Well,
And that'd be after like a 10-minute match of lifting him and doing shit.
hell yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, he could hang strength-wise, but yeah. I think it would just be the technique that would get him. Because that's what got him in MMA. Like, yeah, he was stronger and faster than everybody, but he didn't have the technique.
And technique. Yeah. But that's why I was like, a 4.7 with the 40, you can do the benches. I'm like, you definitely should be able to stand up there with some of the more like finesse guards in the league.
Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't survive a bull rush. He would have had to gain some weight, so he wouldn't have been that fast. But still, crazy athlete.
He Which,
They would have had to put like 20 pounds on him for him to survive a bull rush.
and it's weird that now football makes all sense in the world. I don't know what he did for football before then at any given point in time. But he should be a person you think like with his athletic background that discipline would be huge for him, so he'd be able to pick up on techniques. But like just having no experience in football or little would make it hard. Thankfully for MMA, he got to rely on his wrestling background. It was his lack of experience and technique elsewhere.
Yeah, like he had a similar, he had a similar background to come from. Because,
He just froze up hard. And doesn't say
most MMA fighters start out as a wrestler. I wonder if something's going on with Discord here.
Oh, and just like this crazy fast forward thing with it, where I heard like two of you at once. I feel like the wrestling background's gone away in UFC. There's people that still have it, but I feel like is it jiu-jitsu that's probably the most dominant?
Yeah, because that's what you're gonna use most. I feel like in MMA, because unless if you're in the ring with a pure striker, you're gonna end up on the ground.
But it also makes sense because the grappler has to get you to the ground, and it's hard to get in on somebody who's a really trained like striker and quick.
Yeah, dude. Oh. Man, I saw Israel Adesanya lost over the weekend. Speaking of UFC.
I'm watching much, but I know that guy was like... It felt like watching Anderson Silva like all those years ago.
Right, like he's been like the pound for pound king for a minute here.
But just the way that he would dodge
only because
John his strikes.
Bones.
I'm trying to remember who's his brother.
John Jones.
Yeah. He's related
Mike
to
Jones.
I was gonna say I know he's related to somebody.
Mike
else.
Jones. Yeah, he's related to Mike Jones.
Oh, Chandler and Arthur Jones that were in the NFL.
Oh, okay. I don't remember Arthur Jones, but I definitely remember Chandler Jones.
Oh yeah, well, that's because one was good and one sucked.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I'm assuming Arthur Jones wasn't anything special, but yeah, I definitely remember Chandler.
It's kind of along the lines of this famous stat line. I know you're not the biggest.
Hoping it with Mike Jones.
I know hockey isn't the most knowledgeable sport for you.
Hey, I know everything.
The highest combined goal total between brothers is between Wayne and I think his brother's name was Mark Gretzky. I might be thinking Mark Howe, but him and his brother have the highest goal combination of brothers in NHL history. It's like all of them but one are Wayne Gretzky, though. That's Chandler Jones, John Jones, Arthur Jones. Or it's like the third Manning brother that nobody talks about.
Yeah, I always forget that there's a third brother until they mention the nephew. And I'm like, so which one of them is the dad? And then I'm like, oh yeah, there's a third brother that didn't play in the NFL. Okay. I'm always so confused. So I'm like, yeah, he's Peyton Manning's nephew. And I'm like, so that's Eli's son? I'm like, Eli Manning's nephew. So that's... But it's not either one of their son?
Do they have a sister?
Right. I'm like, is there a sister? Because what? I'm like, nope, there's a third one out there.
It's kind of like how many Gronkowskis were in the NFL at one time. 3.
Yeah, there was a few of them. Rob took all the talent.
They were on the same. Two of them were on the same team for a minute. I just forget which ones because I don't remember the first names of the other two.
Yeah, that's what I said. Rob took all the talent and stole it from the other two, and that's why he was so good.
One was like a fullback in a league that doesn't use fullbacks anymore.
Yeah. I feel like there are
It's coming back,
fullbacks, but it's like 2 or 3. Yeah.
Even Nick Saban talked about it. College, you start to see a transition back to the power game because the lines and the teams aren't lining up for it. So you're going to start to get the people trying to worry more about the defensive front seven for the run game again. We're going to kind of sort of get back to old school football. Just, it won't be old school football still.
Yeah. It'll be old school with a new school twang to it.
Guys like Jacobs and the other running backs right now are going to be so mad because they're going to be that weird in-between stage where nobody cares about running backs, but like 5 years from now it's going to matter again. Jahmyr Gibbs, baby.
Let's go. He looked good.
He did. Running with power and speed.
Speed and weight.
And not even going down like when he was getting like, yes. So excited. But running late onto things outside of football. I said I'd get you out of here early. So that being said, if you were watching this whole thing and you've stuck around for us not talking about wrestling for about 20 minutes now, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we'll see you around soon.
Yeah. And also come talk wrestling with us. We love to talk about it. As you can tell, we do this podcast talking about wrestling. So come talk with us. We welcome it.
Have a good night.